Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Friday. And we're on day 2 of learning about nonfiction. Okay, so do you remember that word we talked about yesterday? It's called genre, right? Genre. And it's about what category or group a book fits in. And there's two main genres or groups of books. And we've done a lot of fiction. And then there's other groups inside the fiction, under that fiction umbrella. But for right now, we're just talking about the two main genres, okay? Fiction, not real, and nonfiction. It's real, true stuff, right? And remember what happens in fiction? There's characters, it didn't actually happen. A lot of times they might be in a problem and they got to fix it. Sometimes there's talking animals, which could be unbelievable. And for a fictional story, you got to read it beginning, middle, and end. If you just read the end, you're just kind of wasted. You don't even know what really happened. And if you just read the middle, you're going to be confused. You got to read it beginning, middle, and end to figure out, did the characters change? Was there a problem? Did it get fixed? What was going on, right? What was the funny part? If there was one, maybe it was just a good story. That's fiction. It's fake, though. Doesn't mean it's not good. It's just fake. Now, nonfiction, especially yesterday, we talked about how it's true. It must be true in there. It's facts, real information about real things. And there's real photographs in there, pictures, right? Someone took that picture and put it in the book. Real stuff. Okay. And there's other things that make it nonfiction. But today we're also going to talk about two more things. Okay. So it must be true. There's real photos. And these two ones, the one in the yellow, it's called table of contents, and the one in the green, it's called glossary. I know, big words. Hold on a sec. So, table of contents. Okay, it's just a list of what is in the book. Okay, that's it. It's a list of what's in the book. It's organized in parts of the book, so maybe you can turn to it if you want to know a certain thing. You might look on the table of contents, look for what page it's on, and you flip to it. Because, like we said, nonfiction, it's not a story about beginning, middle, and end of what happens. It's okay if you're just looking for certain information to just go to that page, look at the table of contents, find it. Oh, page 7. I'm going to learn about that. All right, I'm going to go right to it because I got to find out some information. Okay. Table of contents is almost like our little Google of the book. Like, oh, I'm going to type in what I need to find. I'm looking what I need to find. Boom, page 17, and there I am. There it is, right? And usually the table of contents is in the beginning of the book, of the nonfiction book, because you can kind of just say, oh, this is what this book's about. It's going to teach me about, but let me flip to this page, table of contents, the list of what's in the book. And I don't have a lot of time to read. I don't need to read all this information. I just need to find what I'm looking for. Okay. So that's table of contents. Now this is the table of contents that's going to be in the story we're going to read today. Okay. It's broken up into 4 different parts. Now it doesn't mean there's 4 pages. Okay. It's just 4 different parts. So in chapter 1, it's all about butterflies from page 4 to page 9. Okay. And then it kind of goes through other things. Maybe I know all about how is a caterpillar and it turns into her. Maybe I want to know what they do as grown-up butterflies. And that's where I can go to page 20 in the table of contents. I can see all grown up. Ooh, what do butterflies do after they just came out of their chrysalis, right? And on the bottom here, it says glossary and comprehension questions, which leads us to what's a glossary? Yeah, a glossary. Weird word, glossary, right? I feel like you need glossary. I think you need to look up what the word glossary means to figure out what a glossary is. It's a list of words that were in the book, and it explains what they mean and what they are. Sometimes when you're reading nonfiction books, you're going to come across a word and you're like, what? I never heard of that word. What is they talking about? What is that? And that's where the glossary comes in handy. If they don't explain what that word is in the story, they might have in the glossary, you go into usually at the back of the book and you look up that word and you say, I didn't know what that word meant at all. I've never heard it before. And you find that word and it gives a little sentence what that word means, right? If someone never heard about how caterpillars turn to butterflies, when they see that word chrysalis, right, they're going to be like, what? They might have to use a glossary to find out what they're talking about, what that word is. So a lot of times, not all times, but there might be new words in your nonfiction book that you're just like, I've never heard of that. And that's where the glossary is very handy. Table of contents, you find where the information is on what page. The glossary, you find out what that word was, okay, what that word meant. It's usually at the end of the book. And here is a picture of the glossary in the book we're going to read today. Okay, there's a lot of words in there. Boom, I see the word chrysalis too. Now, some glossaries, remember that's a weird word, have in these kind of parentheses right here, that kind of looks really weird, right? With dashes and stuff. They're just telling you how to actually sound out the word, how to say it correctly. Okay, so sometimes they have that. So here we are. The story is called, or the book is called Butterfly Life Cycle. Okay, it's by Jeff Bauer and Scholastic book. We can see on the bottom here. And we got a real picture. It's called Science Vocabulary Readers. And I already told you the table of contents, right? We are going to read the story, the book today. And I might skip through some pages because we might already learned it yesterday, and that's okay. It's not going to ruin the book for me. I'm not going to miss out on something if I already know, if we already learned it yesterday. It's okay to do that sometimes with your nonfiction books because we're reading to find information. So all about butterflies, chapter 1. Look, it's a butterfly. This book will tell you about the lives of these butterfly bugs. Cool. All right, butterflies are insects. Did you know that? Cool. They have 6 legs, just like ants, grasshoppers, and ladybugs. And you know what they did here? I like that they showed you all 4 pictures of what they just talked about. A monarch butterfly, an ant, a grasshopper, and a ladybug. Okay. Butterfly parts. Now, we were learning a little bit in the other story about those antennas, right? Those are coming from here, coming from the top of their head. Butterflies have 4 wings. We learned that in the other book. Each wing is covered with thousands of tiny scales. The scales give butterfly wings their bright colors. Let's see. So this is a cool kind of thing. They have this little picture up in the top corner. And it's giving you a close-up. So the scales of a wing look like this close-up. And, oh boy, that is a big word. And I think it's in the glossary. Proboscis looks like this close up. And you might be thinking, oh, what's a proboscis? I'm thinking that too. Let's read to find out. So butterflies drink their meals through a thin tube called a proboscis. Oh, proboscis to me kind of is like their tongue, like their straw a little bit. Their favorite meal is nectar when they suck up from flowers. Hey, in that book we read yesterday, they talked about how they suck from the nectar right there, but they didn't tell us how. This book is telling us it's called a proboscis. It's like their tongue or their straw that comes out of their mouth, and that's how they suck it up. Interesting. What? Butterflies come in all different colors. Some have spots, some have stripes. Some seem like they have painted wings. There are 17,500 kinds of butterflies. Wow, that's a lot of butterflies. 80. That looks like numbers. Yeah, you see that? I've never heard of a butterfly like that. An 89 butterfly, an owl butterfly. You see that eye in there? Yeah, it's pretty cool. But butterflies do not begin their lives looking this way. Let's take a peek at the life cycle of a monarch butterfly to see how they grow and change. Here's other butterflies here. A peacock butterfly, an emerald butterfly. Kind of looks like a shamrock almost. Cool on the ground. A zebra, swallowtail butterfly, a glass wing. Oh, do you see that glass wing? Can you see that last one? Kind of looks like it's glass, like you're looking through it. That is super cool. Now, we learned about this yesterday, so I think I might skip through it a little bit. That we learned that the egg to caterpillar, they start out as an egg, right? Yep, and they come out as baby caterpillars, and they got to eat. And so they crunch, let's see. And we see how they're growing right here, big and strong, big and strong. Oh, I feel like we've seen this picture before, right? So it says after about 2 weeks, the caterpillar takes a rest, which we've been learning, and they go up and attach it to a twig or a leaf and hang upside down. Something amazing is about to happen. Wow, here's a fun fact. Monarch caterpillars have 16 little legs. That's a lot of legs. All right, here's another part of our story, of our book here. It's a chrysalis to butterfly. Okay. So we've talked about the caterpillar becomes a wrapped up package called a chrysalis. Inside the package, exciting changes are taking place, which we've learned about. Okay. The chrysalis protects the caterpillar as it changes into a butterfly. That is true, right? It takes time too. The chrysalis turns from green to clear. Presto changeo, the caterpillar has become a butterfly. Oh, okay. So it is changing a bit the color. If you see the chrysalis here, it's really bright green, and then it looks like it gets a little bit clearer, almost a little bit darker. It definitely is changing, and I think that's what they're saying. It's time for the butterfly to come out. If you remember, this is going back, I think, all the way to Monday, that caterpillar, right, the very impatient one, if you remember, I don't have the book here, his chrysalis was changing color, and then he kindly was quiet, and then he was like, I'm a butterfly. So I didn't know that it changed color that way. And we've seen this picture almost before, right? The butterfly breaks out of the chrysalis, and then it unfolds its wings, which are soft and damp. And we've learned about that damp. It's kind of like a wet, almost moist there. They have to dry them out. The brand new butterfly waits in the sun for its wings to dry. Then flutter, flutter, away it flies. Very cool. So the life cycle review, and we know about this. Day 1, so there's an egg. Day 4, caterpillar hatches. In 2 weeks, a caterpillar becomes a chrysalis. And then in a few more weeks, could be 2, 3, or 4, a butterfly breaks out of that chrysalis. So it lasts for about a month, it says. Oh, where did it go? There, okay. So, and then we talked about, we actually learned from one of our fiction books that they migrate, and that's true. Some monarchs go to California and some go to Mexico. Along the way, they rest in trees. So they do fly, they migrate. In early spring, the monarchs fly back north. The female lays on an egg on a leaf, and then the life cycle, it's like a wheel, will begin all over again. They migrate, they come back, they lay their eggs, the eggs turn into caterpillars, the caterpillars go in the chrysalis becomes a butterfly, then they fly, and then it keeps going, the life cycle. Yeah. I want to read this fact right here. Monarchs are poisonous to birds and other animals. Their bright wings say, "Don't eat me," right? So a lot of times bright colors in nature kind of hint that they're poisonous, that can make you sick. So animals steer clear of that. So that's a good idea that their wings right here are very bright. So let's see. And this is the end of the story where there was that glossary, okay? And maybe we need to look up again. Proboscis at the bottom there, almost at the bottom, a straw-like tube that bugs use to drink liquid. So that's what that butterfly has, a straw-like tube coming out, right? And maybe I've said the word nectar and you've been like, I don't really know what nectar is from a flower. Here's the word nectar in our glossary. A sugary liquid that butterflies and bees collect from flowers. There we go. Okay, so this glossary has a bunch of words. If I didn't know what they meant, I could look them up and double check and be like, oh, now I know what that means. And there's some questions here too and there's more facts. Now, not every nonfiction book has that, but it's just more ways of teaching and learning about the topic, about butterflies. All right, so maybe you have some nonfiction books in your class or at home and you can see, does it have a table of contents? You know what that is now, right? It's the list of parts of the story of the book, and it's usually in the front page or the second page right in the beginning. And then a nonfiction book, some of them have glossaries, right? A glossary is where all the words were that were the tough words, maybe the new words that you didn't quite know yet. You can look it up there and find out what it means. All right, so this book that we just read had a lot more in it than the one we read yesterday. I'm going to tell you more about it on Monday, about more things that make it nonfiction, okay? But we're reading this genre, nonfiction. It's got to be true. There's real pictures in there. Some have table of contents, some have glossaries, okay? And it's all about you as the reader understanding as much as you can about that topic. So we've been trying to understand as much as we can about butterflies and how they become butterflies, okay? I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here on Monday. Bye.